Hey everybody, welcome. It's been a little bit of time, but we're back with Records of Evil. Hey! Once again I'm joined by a cast of villains who are ready to bring their cult upon the modern day world of Calimport and Faerun. That was not very good, but you know, whatever.
That was great.
Uh-huh. But as usual, joining me today is Worm. How's Roselle doing in her new outfit?
She's doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
Probably gonna have to get used to wearing pants, I guess, because she's probably used to wear more of like a robe type thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Press the wrong button. Just ignore that.
We know you know thieves can't. You're very roguey. I'm just saying.
I'm actually putting all these on the sheet so I don't have to look up things.
That's a good idea. And how about Jinx? How's Mishka doing?
She's okay. She's like still trying to figure out like how all of this new stuff is gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still kind of like still off of that coffee that she had at some point. So
Yeah, some good stuff.
she's not too bad.
And just how's Threzee doing?
Oh, Threzee is ready to eat as many cakes as possible. They are delicious. Why didn't we have these? Honestly, like, I could live in this world. I'm pretty happy with that.
Mm-hmm. Cake is...
The medieval period did have a sort of cake.
It's not
Probably
great.
wasn't
This
as
is full of
sweet,
sugar.
It wasn't really great, probably. I think it was a lot of, like,
Well,
tarts
to be fair,
stuff.
Yeah, to be fair, like, they did have sugar. It was just a very rare commodity, so you may have had it, like, you know... You
That
probably
one
haven't had
time?
it, but it did technically exist.
They have stolen a cake with it in once, but
But now you can just buy them. Wow.
Yeah.
And they're not even that expensive, you think.
we hope.
Anyway, so, when we last left off, you have now gotten your missions from Zarin, the voice of the Ruby Eyes. Basically, found a cult, find someone, find the artifact, create a vessel for Asmodeus, permanently upon the world kind of thing. You know, the usual for your average horrible cult. And to go about this, you decided we need some kind of funding. Because it seems like, as in most worlds, this one also runs on money. And you only have a certain amount. And you're not even sure how to earn more. So that's the idea of you've gotten dressed in clothes that match the world you're in now, and you're ready to look for a job. So, you're standing outside of the clothing store. What's
It's
the
very
plan?
scary. Honestly, do they even know what people do around here?
Not a clue. There was some nice lady working at the clothing place.
They know about the clothing
Yeah.
place, the bakery,
Mm-hmm.
the pawn shop,
Uh-huh.
and the museum.
Yep. Seems like most places of business have people, but that's kind of logical. Most did. From your experience, most of these, as far as you know, maybe these people own the place, or sometimes in larger stores like the one you were just in may have had some employees hired on, but that means there might have been someone there that was the owner that you didn't meet, but you know, for something like the pawn shop, you got the feeling that guy was probably like more traditional. I own it, you know, I'm selling the stuff too. But yeah, sales is the only thing that you've obviously seen.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen officers, which are like, you know, guards of this town. That's a job that people can get paid for. People seem to drive to control the bus beast. Maybe that Wrangler is that they do that for a living. They collect money from it.
They don't seem very happy though.
No, that person does not seem happy. So there seems to be options. It's just figuring out how you would go about it in these day and age.
Perhaps we could travel to one of the shadier parts of town and maybe see if we can't find someone who needs a sword for hire. Or what was it? Gun?
I think it's called gun. That sounds right. If not, I wonder if there's any taverns around. Taverns are always looking for more women.
A good idea.
I
Just
mean,
Also,
possibly
very...
unsafe. I don't know if I'd like to be looked at like a man from the outside.
I feel like the god of this world would not be happy with us going that direction.
I mean, I'm not gonna stop. This is an evil campaign. I'm not gonna stop you from doing something that, you know, is morally bankrupt. That's or at least probably looked down upon by the general populace. Besides, you don't even know the legality status of any kind of various activities you may or may not do. For all you know, there might be like legal brothels in this place.
I mean, well, also though, that's also why I'm like, oh, maybe we could go be a like sword front. I'm like, I that is actually, I wouldn't understand that to be illegal. I'd be like, well, we could be hired by someone.
Well, yeah, we can use my plan as a plan B.
Not Threzee.
Drunk men are easy to steal off of.
Advice for the ages. Drunk men, easy to steal off of.
I mean, it's never gonna be wrong. You know?
You're right.
Yep.
So I guess we're going to the darker areas or
We
something.
have to find a shady part of town.
Well,
I'm sure it'll be easy.
I think we should start in the pawn shop because, I mean, the dude sold us a dodgy gun.
That might be a good idea.
well, right now you're in what's referred to as Upper Town, as far as you know, and this place looks shadier than the other places you've been to because you've been to Midtown and Downtown so far. You've heard about Old Town, which you're pretty sure is the eastern side of the city, and from the maps you've looked at and studied a little bit, you know that Newtown is the western side of the city. So whoever like nicknamed the parts of the city, not really super skilled at nicknames. Or they like opposites.
So we're in what right now?
Upper Town. So you're like you're
Town.
north city.
Okay. Question, was downtown a little bit dodgier than
No,
town?
downtown from what you saw was a little nicer but it's hard to tell because the area you went to was where the church and the museum were and the park. Also,
that's downtown.
Yeah,
Okay.
you also heard that the majority of the docks were downtown. And your experience with Old Calimport is it was a dock town. There was always work at the docks. There might be still. That might be as hard labor. You're not even sure, with how things are now, what kind of labor it would be at all, though. But you probably experience with that as a place for possible labor. You've heard of Old Town now, which sounds like it's got some older architecture that you might recognize from the words that were given to you previously, but that's the eastern side of town, and job-wise or job hunting, again, that's as much of a crapshoot as any area. And you're not even sure if Old Town or New Town, either of them are really nice parts of town. Midtown, when you were there, actually seemed like it had the tallest buildings, the most people around on the streets. It was the busiest area. The center of the city.
Is that where the visitor center was?
Yes. You're in the area where you found the Cash for Gold place, the pawn shop, the clothing place you went to, which seems to be on a larger street, a larger road that has more businesses on it. And your experience probably tells you that whether or not this is the more shady part of town, being on one of the main roads, you're not going to encounter that as much.
You know, that gnome... It was a gnome that owned the pawn shop, right?
I think I said halfling.
Halfling, okay. Sorry. That halfling... You know what? My character wouldn't necessarily care about the difference. That gnome that we met... wasn't... Maybe he would know someone we could get some work from.
Probably. He probably has contacts for acquiring items.
Yeah, we can go ask him.
Alright, so you'll make your way through town back to where you found the pawn shop. Once again, you are in front of the pawn shop, and Tabin is very happy to see you again. Ladies, welcome! Looking sharp, fitting in here. How are you liking the city?
The food's good.
Excellent.
A little busy.
Probably very different from where you're from.
Some of the drinks are nice.
So what can I do for you today? Looking to offload a few items? Pick up a few things?
Actually, we're looking for work and wondering if you knew where we could find some.
Depends on the kind of work you're looking for.
I mean, we don't... Let's just say we don't care as to the moral quality.
Well, that doesn't really say a lot. Are you looking for something a little bit more above board? Are you looking for something that maybe uses a little bit more... maybe a little bit of muscle. Seems like you got a little bit there. Or are you looking for something that uses a little bit more of the assets that you were gifted with?
Depends if the muscle work paid well.
Most places around here are pretty lax on the muscle work and what you need to do. Probably give you a decent pay, but don't know what they'd have you doing. I wouldn't ask, but I can point you in the right direction. If you're looking for something above board, well, I can send you to a great place. There might be some need you might be able to arrange some more asset-based work if you're interested in there, but it wouldn't be a necessity. Or...
What kind of work is the above board stuff?
Well, my cousin Tebin, he's got a bar in the area. He'd be looking for a couple new waitresses, if you're interested. And of course, if you're interested in something else, he might have some offers. Pay's not great, but it's stable at least.
How much off time?
What was that?
Doesn't sound like such a bad idea.
Be good for a start.
I can let him know you're heading over there. Let me give you his address, which he will give you directions how to find Tebin's bar. Tebin runs a bar called I gotta think of a modern day bar name. I was hit with all of a sudden all those bad D&D bar names.
I mean, maybe the naming conventions haven't changed as much.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you know what? It's the Little Kraken.
Just a little kraken.
Just a little kraken. It's an old bar that he took over. Used to apparently be a sailor's hangout in the day. Kind of an odd spot if you're up in Upper Town, but I think that would be downtown. But you know, some sailors needed to cut up this way for various reasons. Well, good luck, ladies. I'll let Tebin know you're heading over there.
Thank you for the help.
Sure. Just remember, Tebin is always here for help. And if you haven't noticed, all of these cousins have pretty much the same name, because I'm awful. Tobin runs Cash for Gobes, Tabin has the pawn shop, and Tebin has a bar.
It's great.
Man, I wish finding a job in real life were this easy.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Mhm.
At this point, if you go into places, they'll strike your name against, like, oh, couldn't listen to instruction because they didn't send it online.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the thing now.
Although, to be fair, if you do the online thing, then go in, that's actually pretty good. They actually like that. That's how I got like a couple interviews.
If they're having a good day.
So, the Little Kraken is a bar that's kind of squat between a couple of buildings, a little out of the way. Like, a little off of the main road. It looks as though the entrance is actually kind of in a kind of back alley area. It's got this sign of, like, this glowing weird sign that says glowing the Little Kraken, and then it's got this, like, what appears to be, you think a kraken, where its tentacles glow, and then, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, then all glow together, then turn off, and it keeps repeating that.
I'm just imagining that on, like, a really old-timey swinging sign.
This time it's like a neon sign of, like, the tentacles, like, popping up. Mm-hmm. There's a kind of large there's a troll right here, kind of guarding the door. And the door itself is actually a little small, you'd say. Not so small that it'd be only for shorter people, but it looks like it's been tailored that it's a lot... The troll won't fit in there. But he's a troll in this actually snazzy suit. What do you want, Gawkers? Bar's not open for hours.
We were sent here by his cousin for a job.
Ah, ladies, welcome. Ladies. He'll kind of open the door, push it open with one hand.
He's gonna, like, shuffles around him,
Mm-hmm.
like, stay as far away from him as she can to get through.
Yeah. So, the door, as I said, is a little small, so all of you have to duck a little bit, not too much. It's just kind of like ducking down, like, your head a little bit. Effectively, it's just this weird door that was too tall for a small creature and too short for a medium creature. It's just kind of weird. Inside, the area is kind of dark. It's got some lights, but it's like a very black cloth area. There's these weird, like, what looks to be cages in various areas. A lot of, like, a large bar area in the center of it. Kind of black tables with black cloth over them. A lot of people working to clean up and stuff.
Do we by any chance see, like, Tavern?
Yeah, you do see at least there seems to be a halfling that seems to be working. You can hear him like, get those glasses cleaned up. Come on. Gotta be ready for tonight again. Another big show. There does seem to be like a stage in this area too on the one side, to your right. To the left, you can see that there seems to be some like private booths, and you can see there is a kind of second floor, but you can't really see what's up on the second floor. This is the largest, probably, bar or tavern area you've ever seen, and it is much fancier than anything you've ever seen before.
The floors aren't covered in vomit. It's a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Are you Tabin?
What? Oh, no. Corey's the name. You're looking for Tabin? Who are you?
We were sent here by Tobin,
Tobin.
his brother. Wait, was it brother or cousin?
Cousin.
Did he say?
He said cousin.
Oh, his cousin.
They're apparently all cousins. They have very similar names.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez. Yeah. I don't know anything about that, but, Looking snazzy there. Look, what are you're looking for a job here? Maybe old Corey's got a job for you.
Yeah, we were here. We were sent here for possible job.
Oh, there's plenty of jobs to have around here, especially for, women as tall as yourselves.
I believe we were looking for something above board.
Ah, I get you. Wink, wink. Aha. Sure, okay. I'll get Tabin. But, just remember, if you want a little extra cash, come to Corey.
I see.
Corey's the man. He'll, like, grab what looks to be like he'll, like, get on a cell phone, kind of make a call, talk to someone for a little bit, and then, you'll see, like, a man come down from upstairs, and then kind of come over to you. So you're the girls that, Tobin sent over.
Yes.
You have anything against dressing skimpy? Showing little stuff? You don't have to go full nude.
I mean,
Is it required?
For certain jobs here? Yeah. What are you saying you're looking to be, well, waitresses, eh? Above board stuff? Yeah. Folks like you, well, we take a lot of them in. Wanderers. Ne'er-do-wells. Folks that are perhaps looking to earn a little cash or something. Maybe don't want to ask too many questions. Don't worry. We're not going to ask questions here. Where you came from, what you're doing here. I don't care. You're here to make money. You're here to make me money.
I mean, where I was from, originally, we didn't wear much more than loincloths, so I don't think it'd be much trouble wearing little clothing.
We gotta make you look sexier for the clientele. Don't worry, we'll figure something out. I'm sure a few of the people have a little, thing for the scales. It's okay. The object is for you to look pretty, serve them drinks, make them maybe want to invest in some other things that are around here that are not particularly involved with you. You're like a piece on the show floor. They don't get to touch, but they get to see. You understand? That's the point of you. So drinks, get them to think about other things, talk to some of my men, I arrange things. Granted, if you want to move into that kind of level of stuff, we can work it out, or some other things that are around here at this place. We got lots of jobs. And maybe that's not your thing. We got other things you can work into. There's some tables down below. You can always get into that. If you've got a little eye for your quick hands, maybe we can find some dealerships there. But for now, why don't we get you girls all set up for tonight?
Do you supply the uniforms, or do we need to go buy them?
We'll get you something. And, you guys aren't much for makeup, are you? Don't worry. I got some, real nice ladies who can, help you out there. We'll get you all pretty looking. We'll get you... So remember, you're just taking orders, bringing drinks. That's the big job you're gonna do. And, if someone gets a little handsy, don't get violent with them. They are... Just tell someone around here, one of the bouncers, they know your types. It is look, not touch. You get me? A few drunk men can get, a few punches in. So you'll be...
I said that.
Well,
That's alright.
Yeah, so you will be led back into the kind of back room area where you will be dressed in what's a good comparison? Like kind of you're like Hooters girls except more scantily clad, you know? You're in sexy outfits, dressed up.
you know, it's funny because he said like work something out with me, and I'm like, is he gonna give me like fake boobs or something?
No. Look.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, not that far.
But you do have a top, which you don't need one. But you do have one. There's no...
It's the illusion.
It's the illusion. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You'll go through some basic training, just basically given some information on various types of drinks, orders, stuff like that, who you go to. There's a barkeep who is a nice, very light-spoken, half-elven man. I don't know how to describe it in terms that D&D characters would understand. He is very flamboyant. But... Uh-huh.
I mean, we should understand that, I'm pretty sure.
Theoretically.
We were in, the Satanist cult, essentially.
Yes.
There's
So
plenty of sinners there.
there was no right and wrong for you. There was only
Exactly.
right. You'll notice that as things are going in on the day, you'll be actually asked to help out with like moving some things around, cleaning the place up, getting things set up. The tables, they're actually pretty small tables. It seems like everything in this place is clienteled to this idea of smaller people, you're pretty sure. But it seems like most of the employees are not. Except for Corey and Tabin, you haven't seen any, like, halflings or gnomes or other shorter races.
Is this a kink bar? Is that what this is?
It is called the Kraken, so.
That's true.
Yes, that's exactly what this place is. Look, there are plenty of halflings and gnomes that have a thing for taller women.
Oh,
Or maybe, occasionally, a woman that has a thing for taller man. They're not discriminating. There does seem to be there does seem to be both men and women working here. This is not just like this is not a like sexist bar. Not that your characters would even care or understand that.
they're up with the times. We're just not.
Yeah. But, it's hours of working, a lot of menial stuff, nothing too critical. A lot of, like, moving, restocking, it looks like alcohol in the bar area, learning some things. Can all of you give me, like, I guess, intelligence checks? Let's just do an intelligence check for now. Give you an idea of how well you've, like, learned the alcohols and ordering stuff and things like that.
You roll for
Okay.
and
If I get bad rolls, I can blame Worm now.
You can blame Worm. Apparently he rolled badly for you. Uh-huh. Yes he did.
yeah, I rolled very badly for you.
Not the worst. You just...
Thanks, Worm.
Yes, if you weren't aware, one of us can't access roll 20, and Jigs can't. So, but we're having Worm in charge of rolls. So you got a 5. So you rolled
Worm,
a
how
3.
could you?
So Mishka, you are like having some trouble getting down like all of it. There's a lot of things to memorize. But Vassal, you and Threzee can help her out to like keep her going. And fortunately,
You know what I find funny is I keep getting really good rolls on my intelligence, despite the fact that it's a flat 10.
yes.
Like, throughout this campaign so far, I feel like I've gotten really good rolls on intelligence.
You're like, haha, insight, but you're not that smart. It doesn't matter. I'm insightful. Is that the cat? I thought I heard a noise, and I realized it's probably the cat. So, as it's getting later on in the day, you notice that more people are showing up then, too. There are some very attractive men and women who seem to be showing up. And most of them seem to be dressed in very low clothes. There seems to be, like, you notice that the bar area is, as I said, it's quite large. It has, like, a bar in the center, with tables all around it. To the one side, there's the stage, and then there's that upper floor. You've been kind of shown about what's going on with the upper floor. Upper floors are for business more. Anybody that's coming for business would use the upper floor. The lower floor has private areas for more private conversations between individuals that are keeping out of the site. Most people are going to be using the floor for doing their various activities. There is some tables that are out of sight of the stage, of course, if someone is asking for that. The idea of what you're going to be doing is finding people a seat, whether they have, you're going to try to inquire what they're there for, what kind of seating they need, take them to appropriate seating, serve them, and kind of take turns doing that. So, as I said, there will be a lot of things set up in this place as the business gets actually open. You are in your scampi outfits with a number of other wait staff. There's about half a dozen of you, so like 3 others. A human man who's pretty attractive. Someone who you're not quite sure what their gender is. It looks to be an elven, very, even androgynous for elves. Like, really androgynous elf. Like, you're completely unsure. And they are wearing stuff that does not tell you anything. Let me put it that way. And then another woman is with you, too. Actually, a hobgoblin woman. Which you're fairly certain is attractive for hobgoblins, but it's not something you're, like, trained in at all. So, yes. You also notice there's a lot of people that are wearing very little, like undergarments very little, and are positioning themselves in those cages. The ones that are near the door seem to be for women, so there seems to be these 4 cages with women who are doing, like, they start doing little dances in there. And in the back, there seems to be a couple of men doing the same. The women that are doing the dances towards the front do not have tops on. They only have, like, everyone that's doing the dances is just, like, really, like, small bits of cloth. Like, for Sel, you're like, that's like a loincloth, only less. It is thong. They only wear lower thongs on either side.
Hey, I saw some of them in that shop we went to.
Mm-hmm.
They look less comfortable on.
Yeah. Oh my god.
As the business gets going, you start to do your job. The stage seems to have a mixture of performers, which usually involve a lot of, like... you're guessing that this is very much so... It's something that you can pick up. There's a level of... It's like a sex club of some kind. It's not something you're probably experienced with, or, like, the idea of them maybe is something that is not really within your grasp per se, but you would have thought of something like this would be at, like, a brothel, or maybe a noble would have a party like this. not to be there having a bar that would have this perhaps every night. Must be a better industry than you thought. There does seem to be other things going on here. Can all of you give me perception to sort of pick up what some of the things that are going on? We'll see how well you notice stuff.
Let's roll. Mishka's name there now.
Wow, Mishka, poor Mishka's just getting fucked by these rolls.
You're just rolling well.
What is going on?
Uh-huh.
Big dude.
Man.
I'm sorry, I don't know why my rolls are.
This is starting to become personal now.
Yeah, man, the one day that I can't use it.
Mm-hmm. So Mishka, yeah,
It's funny because usually it's the opposite for me.
yeah, you're not really picking up on a lot of stuff. You're more helping people down on the main floor, so you're not really picking up a lot of things. It seems most people are there. There's a lot of people that are taking a look at you. Apparently, they haven't had a tiefling working the bar area for quite some time, and many people have been commenting on you.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Vercel, you're kind of put in charge of going to these kind of private rooms more, it seems like. The ones that are kind of in the back area, where they kind of have some views of the bar. It's the opposite side than the stage. So, like, stage on one side, these kind of, like, private rooms that can have, like, little, curtains put in the way of. So they're still, like, part of the main room. It's just, like, seats that are out of the way, curtains can go up kind of thing, for chats. Definitely see some people there. It's a lot of halflings, gnomes, a couple other shorter races. There's some goblins here, too. There's especially a group of boisterous goblins who are seemingly there for some kind of party. It seems you pick up that it seems like maybe one of them is getting married soon, and this is where they went to celebrate it.
I just realized, yeah, they probably would have a market for scaly people and a bar for little folk because there are kobolds.
Yes. And other people that are just weird.
That too.
Yeah.
I believe the term is kinky.
You have to think about, give the fantasy world the internet. What the hell are they going to come up with?
Oh.
Our internet's weird? Oh my god. Their internet is weird.
No.
And that's what the imp is messing with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh.
He's still sat on the
gosh,
phone.
what have we done?
Left alone at the motel with the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, the Zaren's who knows what he's doing. That's nothing you're going to discover for now. No. It seems to be a lot of, like, private groups like that are swimming here. Other people that are just, like, meetings. You're picking up that a few of the meetings seem to be maybe a little bit more business than private, but they wanted to be in this area. Because you did see that upstairs in the business areas, there weren't really, like, private rooms per se. There were a few actual private rooms that could be rented out, but when Tabin was, like, letting you know about us, those aren't normally used. They're more for, like, actual, like, heavy business that might happen in the bar, which is a rare thing. Most of the time, it's, like, simple dealings that you're in a company that you don't really have to worry about.
That's like for a meeting of mob bosses.
Yeah. If it's just like a simple meeting of discussing a few things on friendly terms, then you don't really need to be closed off. These private ones, you're pretty sure you pick up at least one person is trying to hire the other to kill someone. In one of the groups. And it seems like one person seems to be discussing with another about dealing some kind of you're guessing illegal substance, but you're not sure what they're talking about. Never heard about it before, so you don't know what they're dealing with. Whether it's a tool...
Kind of... Okay. What kind of drugs can magic create?
Oh.
That's a good question. Threzee, you're pretty much being put in charge of the business section, which there is a couple of groups. You can see that there seems to be two. You're guessing that they're criminal organizations seem to be meeting. You actually, for once, can pick up on this. It's hard to quite understand. It's like thinking like you guys have an accent to the common you've been hearing. This is an accent, but it's on Thieves' Cant. They're actually speaking.
Ooh.
Yeah. It seems to be that they're two different organizations, rivals in the town. One seems to be primarily bugbears. So it's this like large bugbear man who's actually in a really like this is the most expensive suit you've probably seen. The kind of thing like you'd see like going to like an expensive show or something, or like a royal like. It feels like you've seen some really nice like how they dress, nice people dress, and this is like to the extreme. And he's got kind of like a couple of bodyguards, and he's talking to an actual a lizard folk man. As far as you can tell, man, because again, like, he has it's either that or a very deep-voiced woman. But with your experience with Vercel, you're guessing, man? He seems to be in charge of a group of scaled kind that form a kind of gang. They seem to be discussing, effectively, control of certain territories. They seem to be trying to have a peaceful agreement. There's also a couple other business groups that seem less shady. There seems to be a group of businessmen discussing acquiring buildings in the area and renovations. And you also see a man who seems to be up here on his own, and no one has come up to him, who just kind of watches you, and not a nice kind of watch. Just, you can tell, it's like the guy in the motel. He's a little got a creepy stare.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
He's not rich enough to be looking at me like that.
Yeah, it's a human man who's wearing like looks like dark glasses inside, and you don't know if he sees. Maybe he's blind.
I'm not sure if a man is blind or giving me the stink eye. It's either one.
You know, exactly. He seems to notice you a lot, so either he's blind and has other senses that he can somehow tell who you are and be able to give you the stink eye regardless, or he just really likes dark glasses.
I mean, they do look pretty cool.
Yeah. So, as your jobs are going on in this very shady place, why don't we take our first break?
Oh god. I didn't realize what the time was.
Yes. We hit the well, we started a little late, but we hit the hour mark anyway. So if you need to grab a drink, bathroom, snack, anything like that, go ahead and go do that. We'll be back in a couple of minutes to figure out what's going on with their first day of work at a you were looking for a shady part of town and you were in it. Let me put it that way. You started in it. Yep. Anyway, so we'll find out what continues with this job in a moment. So, see you in a second, folks.